Oh man, it's Friday night and I've got my black coffee. Oh. Oh, wow. How are you guys doing? I'm Dan Crozier. I'm your host with COFOH Live Undead, and I've got my guest, the amazing, the phenomenal Joe Castro. But first, you write something on my face.
Turn on the light if you need to.
Oh, Joe,
Oh,
how are you?
How's it going? I have Steve in the background looking for a copy of the original Terror Tunes. How's it going, everybody? How's it going,
Sweet.
Daniel?
Hi, Steven. That's awesome. Yeah. Hopefully you can find a copy and so we can.
I was gonna. Well, see, that's part two right there. There's
Nice.
Terror Tunes. Yeah, Terror Tunes. This is actually Gretel, like a wicked Hansel and Gretel. This is Gretel from part two. It's kind of
nice.
It's kind of a very crazy, stylized underground cult film about killer cartoons that people always ask me, is Terror Tunes animated or live action? It's both. There's both.
Yeah.
It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets the Itchy and Scratchy Show meets Tim Burton meets Adult Swim. That's what it's all of it mixed together. Yeah.
That's definitely a great way to to describe it all. It is a wonderful menagerie of insanity.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that when people like watch the Terror Tunes franchise like 10, 20, 30 years from now, and they say, did a crazy person make this? It's a little bit of insanity, so much insanity in it,
but it's so much fun too. Yeah, I mean, we were talking off camera originally about how Matthew Vanaha is such a big fan of that. He's working with you on number 4 and
Appetite for Sin. Appetite for Sin is a movie that Matthew's directing right now that I get to star. I'm one of the lead actors in. I hope I'm not just here to toot my own horn. There's so many people. No. There's so many people behind how far I've come and where I am right now, and I want to be able to make sure that we mention all of them and let everybody know how much I appreciated all the love and support and words of encouragement that I get online, especially on all my social media accounts. And I don't make this thing by myself. It takes a real village to bring me to where I am right now today.
Oh, very much. Yeah, and as I was mentioning with Matthew too, he had expressed to me that it was because of Terror Tunes that he really got into filmmaking. That was one of the big influences.
That's what he told me as well, and I was very honored that he shared that bit of information with me, that fact with me, and it's a real honor to be working with him on part 4 and actually to be one of the lead characters in his first feature film, which is Appetite for Sin, as I mentioned. And I just want to say to all the fans out there and all the people that have reached out to me on social media and have told me that they made films because of Terror Tunes. They started making micro budget movies because of the original Terror Tunes. The original Terror Tunes. Here it is. The original Terror Tunes. There it is. That's Dr. Carnage, which is actually based on me. It's got a big nose, and that's Max Assassin. That's my partner Steven. Yeah, that's okay. See that?
That's awesome.
Anyways,
it's very photo accurate.
The film, we made the whole movie. In 3 days for $2,300. Yeah, we shot the entire movie in 3 days for $2,300. We shot it on a Friday, a Saturday, and Sunday, It was Easter weekend on the year 2001. It was the weekend of Easter on the year 2001. And yeah, we shot. The first day was a 12-hour day. The second day was a 17-hour day. And the third day was a 25-hour day. And I just remember, yeah. Well, the reason why we made the movie in 3 days was because I did special effects for a little movie in Austin, Texas, called Attack of the Bat Monsters.
Oh, sweet. I'll have to look that up. That sounds amazing.
It's not really a horror film. It's about the making of a science fiction movie. And it's done as a period piece back in like the 1950s or 60s when they were shooting black and white science fiction alien movies. And a good friend of mine named Kelly Green directed it. And in the movie, this low budget film crew finishes a movie and they have a little bit of money left over. So they decide to make another movie in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
and that's what the movie's about. And they used to do this all the time. It's no strange feat. That's exactly how independent movies were made back in the day. You know, they could shoot them in three or 4 days, and they've been doing it since the beginning of time. And so we said, hey, why don't we make a movie in 3 days? And that's exactly how it happened. And I'm like, let's write the whole movie in a house. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. My hat's off to you, sir. Wow.
Thank you. And the best part about it is we made the movie in 3 days, and it's still, when it was released, sat on the video shelf next to Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's cool.
Yeah, there were 8 copies in every Blockbuster in America, and you could walk in and you could either rent Pirates of the Caribbean or you could rent Terratunes, which is right on the same. It was on the same shelf with Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, it was an option.
Cool.
So, yeah.
You know, it being on Blockbuster shelves, you know, and for those kids who don't know what Blockbuster is, you know, that's when they had, you know, DVDs and VHS, which was what I grew up with, you know, on shelves. You couldn't stream anything online. You have to go in. Do you have like snapshots of you know, Terratunes next to Pirates? You know,
you know what I did? I do have, and I have it over there, but I could bring it. I could have Steve find it and bring it out. I have the box. Blockbuster would only put out the cover, and then if you wanted to rent the movie, you'd have to pick up the DVD, and there was like a Blockbuster case behind it with the disc in it, so you wouldn't take this actually home. And so I have the box, the VHS box, because it came out in VHS too. It was VHS and DVD, and so I have the VHS box, and on the back of it, on the back of the Blockbuster box, it says, if you like Evil Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday 13th, you will love Terratunes. That's what it said.
Nice.
So I had to keep it. You know, that was such an honor to have my little $2,300 movie, you know, mentioned like with the likes of, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday 13th and so Evil Dead.
That's a great love letter. Yeah. Hey, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, how you grew up, got into art and filmmaking and everything. You told me a little bit about your Toy Story. You know?
Yeah. Well, before the show began, Daniel and I were talking about how, you know, growing up, I kind of made most of my own toys. I lived out in Helotes, Texas, which is outside of San Antonio. And San Antonio was a big town at the time, but I lived out on a big goat ranch, and I was always into arts and crafts, and you know, I learned how to do paper mache at a very young age, like 5 or 6, and I always made my own toys. And all my father's brothers on his side of the family, he had 4 younger brothers. They were all very talented men. They all had some sort of talent or skill, like taxidermy, carving wood, carpentry, painting, drawing. They were all very good at that. And so I kind of gathered my skills from them, got my skills handed down from them. And they would, and I would go over and see what they were doing, because they lived like right across the country highway. We lived on one side of a country highway and they lived on the other side. So I would go over there and, you know, they would be like, you know, they were hunters. I mean, you could go over and there'd be like an animal carcass sitting in like formaldehyde in the skin, because they would taxidermy, you know, the actual game, you know, animals that they hunted and killed. But of course, we ate all the meat. It was very, you know, we were very, very, you know, proactive with all that stuff. Growing up in Texas, it was a different time. This was like the 70s, and so I learned, like I said, a lot of my skills then. But I would go over and get paint, or, you know, and ask them, how do you do this? How do you draw that? This kind of thing.
Cool.
yeah, so and then from there it was just a matter of a lot of people have heard this story, but I'll tell it for you again. Most people don't know. A lot of people know it, but maybe your audience doesn't know this. When I was 7 years old, my father sat me down in front of the TV and said, "Watch this, son. You're gonna like it." And I was a Saturday afternoon, and my mother had gone away for the weekend with her friends on a trip, and my father was babysitting me, and he was outside working on the ranch, and he didn't want me to go outside and get in trouble or get hurt or something. So he said, "Watch this. You're really gonna like it." And I was 7 years old. I liked dinosaurs and dragons. He knew what my interests were, and it was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And he sat me down and had me watch this film. I mean, he had actually looked it up in the. We had a TV guide, a TV, like a paper TV guide. You would know the time it was going to come on, and so I sat down and watched it. And when that movie was over, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make monsters and special effects and make science fiction horror monster movies. And
that's so cool.
That's where it all began. Yeah,
that's so cool. Hey, Joe, we're getting a bunch of wonderful comments coming in. So you got it's here. Matthew coming in, such an amazing actor.
Hi, Matthew. It's such a privilege to work with that very talented director. Hi, Bill. I'm looking forward to working with you on set again. I work with. Hi, Angela. How you doing?
Angela, yeah, you got quite the fan base here chiming in. Good old. Let's see here. We got Robert. Chiming in. He's listening while he's working. And then
Robert, thanks for reaching out to say hello. Isaac. Isaac is the DP from the original Terratoons. Isaac shot this film.
No kidding.
And Isaac is coming back to shoot Terratoons 4. And we're right in the middle of the Indiegogo campaign right now, and this is going to be a chance for all the fans to be a part of the franchise and come and be a part of our team forever. And I'm looking forward to working with a lot of the fans from the original film. And
nice.
Yeah. We were. Oh,
that's cool.
I thought it might be entertaining. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just wanted to point out, everybody that's watching right now, look at the ticker. There's the link. Take a screenshot of it. Go to Indiegogo. Support original independent filmmaking.
Absolutely. And to be a part of Terratoons 4 is going to be a real treat. It's not like other Indiegogo campaigns. This is its own universe. It's not a slasher movie. It's not your typical horror film. In fact, I don't even know if it's a horror film. It's just it's like this crazy, unique, very avant-garde cartoon universe kind of film. And in the cartoon universe, anything is possible. And it's the same with the films. Nice. And I'm looking forward to doing. Whenever I make a Terratoons movie, I tell people the go to see it or they're getting ready to watch it. I swear to you, I swear to you, you will see something that you've never seen before.
Right.
Because people say, "Oh, everything's been done. Everything's already been done. Everything's been done."
No.
Well, not in Terratoons. In each Terratoons film, you will see something that has never been seen before, never been done before.
Interesting.
And I plan on doing it again with part 4. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty enlightening and really encouraging too, because you like with Terratoons, it exists in that realm of horror, and I mean it's a mishmash of all these genres. It's a wonderful kind of intersection of all that, but at the same time, like you said, the Adult Swim, the avant-garde, it's just wonderfully bizarre, and I find that delightfully engaging.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And one of the wonderful things about Terratoons 4 is our cast. All the people we have that are coming on to the project, and there are a whole bunch of people, and I know I'm going to forget a lot of them who have already contributed to the campaign and are coming on to act. And I'm just going to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of different people. Of course, Matthew, who is going to be co-directing with both Brink Stevens and myself in the film. And then, Debbie Rashawn, Scream Queen Debbie Rashawn's in the film. And also Brink is starring in the movie as well. Brink Stevens, over 200 film credits. And,
a couple weeks ago.
Oh, very good. Very nice. Yeah. Brink also makes her writing and directing debut with Terratoons 4. Nice. And so I'm very excited for everybody to see her portion of the movie. It's a real classy, class act, really nice piece. And then Linnea Quigley is in the movie. Linnea Quigley from Night of the Demons, Return of the Living Dead. I believe she's in. I think she's in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and a whole bunch. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I want to say. So we got a whole bunch of really big hitting talent in it. Billy Butler is also in the film. Billy Butler, you may know from let's see, he was one of the stars of the color remake of Night of the Living Dead, the one that Tom Savini directed with George Romero. Yeah. And he was also in, I believe it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and also, I think it was Friday 13th Part 7. I want to say, yeah. So coming on board our team is going to get you like really connected with a lot of big heavy hitter names that have been in the horror industry. I mean, really Hollywood horror royalty, in the film, and I'm really excited about all of it. So. Yeah,
that's so fun. Julianne.
Julianne's also in the film. Yes, Julianne's in the film. Yeah. Mike Ferguson. Awesome. And
chimed in to say hello, and then we got Jerry Angelo. Jerry G. Angelo.
Hi, Jerry. How's it going? Jerry's also part of the Terratoons universe. Jerry was in Terratoons 1.5, and absolutely. Yeah. Delivers a really crazy, wonderful. Memorable performance in that.
Oh, cool, man! Everybody's just chiming in. Lots of hellos. Hi from cold ass Canada, bud.
Hi, Jan. How's it going? Jan is a very well known composer and a musician. I would give a shout out to him. Hopefully, maybe we can get him involved in the project as well. That would be great. Yeah.
Hear that, Jan? Make sure to message Joe.
And here's Douglas. Douglas is going to be playing Dr. Carnage. We're finally going to get to see Dr. Carnage. The Terratoons 4 is an origin story, and Douglas is coming in to play Dr. Carnage, the character which is the lead villain in the franchise. And Douglas is going to be Dr. Carnage before he turns into Dr. Carnage, before the devil takes him over from the first one. And I'm so excited to work with Douglas. Douglas is an up and coming talent. Actually, he's actually well known. A lot of people know who he is, and. But I want Terratoons to really be a vehicle for Douglas to shine, because he's such an amazing actor, and I can't wait for everybody to see him play Dr. Carnage. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, he seems to be game for that.
I don't know. Yeah. I absolutely, Jan. Yeah, absolutely. I had the honor of putting a burn makeup on Douglas. For a film that Steven Escobar, my partner, and I produced. Mm-hmm. It's called Xenophobia. Xenophobia. Xenophobia means the fear of aliens. And this is a movie that came out last year. And Douglas came out with all my film family from Kansas City, Missouri. And we put them all out in front of the camera, and they all had burn makeup on, but I put this very, very elaborate burn makeup all over Douglas, and he came to life. Like it just changed. He just became this other character. And when when you put makeup on people and they become like this out of body experience, almost like they're not afraid of the camera, they're not afraid of anything. They become this other character, and that's what I see in Douglas. So I'm looking forward to putting some prosthetic makeup on Douglas to play Dr. Carnage and see him bring that whole thing to life. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's interesting to see, how makeup and prosthetics can, as you said, transform an actor, into this other character, and watch them embody that and kind of transcend that situation.
I kind of feel like that happens with me when some people that know me know that I get dressed up for Halloween. And it's like, when I get dressed up for Halloween, I have I'm more uncomfortable, here in the dark, wearing clothes. But when I get dressed up for Halloween, I let loose all my ambitions, and I just become this other character.
That's awesome. Angela, loved Xenophobia, and she says, bravo to you and Steven.
Angela was a part of the team that helped promote the film, and brought a lot of love that surrounded the movie when it was released. Steven and I made that picture with Thomas Churchill and a big group of people here in Los Angeles, and you know, it's like a little film that no one knew, but we didn't, we just made another little movie, and there was so much love around it. And hi, Lean. And, you know, I wanted to make something special. I never make the same movie twice. That's my thing. Like I try never to, even if you watch Terror Toons 1, 2, and 3, each one of them is different. They're all, you know, out of this world, crazy, you know, wild, unpredictable. That's what Herschel Gordon Lewis called it. Wild and unpredictable. That's what the franchise is. But each one is different, and I hope part 4 will be the same. And even with Xenophobia, I tried to make Xenophobia something that had never been done before. And so Xenophobia is the very first alien abduction anthology movie. Most people don't know that. Yeah. The very first one.
I saw it was an anthology. You know, what a fun and bizarre premise to bring all these different talents and filmmakers together for an anthology. But there again, Terror Toons 2 was Terror Toons more of like a blueprint on how to do Xenophobia, you think?
No, it was Xenophobia and Terror Toons. The Terror Toons universe are two entirely different animals altogether. The only thing that is similar is every once in a while in Xenophobia, the little bit of my strange quirkiness comes through with the aliens. You know, what I tried to do with the alien stuff in Xenophobia was I decided that we would do all practical alien effects. I didn't want to do anything CGI. And there's some CGI stuff in it. There's some CGI spaceships and some CGI shots. You know, the mainstream stuff that you see on film and television these days. But for the alien stuff, I wanted everything to be practical, just like the success of like the cantina scene in the original Star Wars. How like endearing, and how much everybody loves all those practical aliens and rubber monster heads. I mean, how can you not love that?
Well, they're so tangible. It's something that you can engage with and fall in love with, or despise. You know, depending on the character.
I mean, are you watching The Mandalorian? I mean, most of that stuff is practical now. A lot of the good stuff is practical. I mean, there's a mix of both. Absolutely, you know, some of the huger things, but of the characters that you really get engrossed in, all that stuff is practical, and it's more tangible, and people can really appreciate it, I think. And that's what we try to do with the aliens and Xenophobia. So if you love practical aliens like the Star Wars cantina scene, and you love sci-fi, horror, and anthology movies, you'll love Xenophobia. Yeah, it's streaming right now on all home media platforms.
Nice. Eileen said she loves your episode of Xenophobia.
I've worked with Eileen on several films recently. She is awesome. Such an amazing presence on set and in front of the camera. She really knows how to perform. I mean, if anybody gets a chance to work with her, all the upcoming directors and producers out there, reach out to Eileen. She's very easy to work with. She will absolutely work with you, and bring your set to life. You know, she really makes every character she plays memorable. I mean, that's a gift. That's a talent to have someone on your set that can do that. They can really you give them a role, and they bring something to your set. Yeah. They are money when they get in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that want to be actors and they want to come and be involved in a movie, but then there's this whole other set of talent, and when they come in on your set, they are money walking in the door, and they get in front of the camera, and then it's like boom, like, oh, this is movie magic. This is filmmaking at its finest, and she's one of those.
Yeah, most definitely. She's got that amazing ball of energy. And
I have to give it there's so many people we have to thank. We have to thank Marcel Waltz. Marcel Waltz. If anybody knows who Marcel Waltz is, Marcel Waltz is the director of a new movie that just came out like 2 weeks ago. It's called Blind. It's right now. It's streaming on all home media platforms.
Sarah French.
With Sarah French. It's a very dark, romantic, cult thriller. And if you like dark, twisted love story, nightmarish love stories, you will love this film. And I knew nothing about it when I went to go see it. I went to see it in the theater. Stevens and I and Steven went to go see the premiere. We knew nothing about the film. We sat down and it was just blown away. Once again, another very indie film done with so much heart and soul and love, and it really shines. So see Blind this weekend. See it, rent it this weekend and watch it, because we just finished shooting Blind 2. And I was honored to do, Marcel honored me to come in and do the special effects for Blind 2. And when he approached me about doing the film, I'm like, because he knew how much of a fan I was from the first one. I'm like, anything you can or can't imagine, that's what I'm going to do for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do whatever you can do. And I don't want to build up too much, but he just sent me the poster for Blind 2 today. He's like, don't post it, don't post it. I was like, oh my gosh, when I looked at it, it was so amazing.
It's burning a hole.
It was so amazing. And I can't wait for everybody to see Blind 2. And I'm not going to say anything about it, but quiet. But that's I got to give a shout out to him. I got to give a shout out to Joseph Kelly, who has brought me in on several projects, including The Bleeding Dark with Jason Hawkins. And just an amazing group of people up in Oregon. And we made this twisted ghost story, is all I can say about it, really. I was able to make some really cool original stuff. Eileen's also in that film. So I did give a shout out. There's so many other people. Oh, Robert Restro right now. I'm working with Robert Restro, and Steven and I are working with him on 2 giant projects. And I'm looking forward to working with Robert. James Balsamo. I've been working with James Balsamo on Alien Danger, It Wants Blood, Hollywood Werewolf. I have to give a shout out to Rob Demir. Rob Demir is an incredibly talented film director, and he's making a movie called Alien Vampire Busters. Talk about
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it has a really great cast. Eric Roberts and Andy Dick are in the film, and cool. It's going to be a really, really cool one of these truly original, never before done kind of science fiction, cult comedy, horror films. And I got to make some cool practical effects, and he put me in the film as well, so I got a cameo in that as well. And I know I'm going to forget a whole bunch of other directors that I've worked with recently. I have to give a shout out to yes, Blind is amazing. Creepy Love. It's a beautiful project. You have to see Blind this weekend if you get a chance. I swear you're going to love it. There's a little bit of something in everybody. There's a little bit of something in that film for everyone. It's sexy. It's got some twisted, dark stuff in it. It's got some amazing acting, and the story's cool. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm not going to say another.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, also, I got to give a shout out to Shane Bradford and George C. Romero. Shane Bradford and George C. Romero brought me on a project called Country Club, Home of the Slaughter Q. Instead of barbecue, think it's Slaughter Q. Slaughter Q.
Sausage, are we?
Yeah. And they flew me into Texas and San Angelo, Texas, a couple of weeks ago. And I literally brought like 3 giant cases on the airplane, and I put body parts and chemicals and my airbrush and wigs and all kinds of stuff in it. And I went down there, and they're like, "Have at it, Joe. Whatever you want to do here." And I would, they just said, "Make anything, however you want to make it." And I kind of told them how I was going to go about doing it. But and it was an amazing team of people that worked on that film. But look forward to that. Look forward to seeing that. It's gonna be some really cool stuff.
Nice. Wait, Joe, film as well. When it comes to making films, is there one discipline you prefer over the other? Is it the special effects or the actual filmmaking, or do you like to blend both? How do you work? That's a
good question. What do I prefer? You know what I really like to do? I like to be the director of special effects. And so when I'm working on a film that's special effects oriented, I like to be able to have my say in what's a money shot, what's the best angle, what looks good. And of course the director has their own ideas, but in this day and age with digital photography, it doesn't cost money to do a second angle or a second shot or what all. Right. And so what I'll do is I'll offer my suggestion. What I'll do is I'll pick up my phone and I'll shoot a little video of the angle I want, and then I'll go and show it to the director, and then he'll understand where I'm coming from. But I like to be the director of special effects, which means I appreciate having directors that work with actors. Yeah. That's not really my thing. Like even with Terror Toons 4, we're not auditioning for it because all the talent that's coming to the set, these are seasoned actors. I'm not going to direct. I'm not going to tell them how to act. Yeah. I'm going to tell them the importance of the scene and whatnot, but I'm not going to tell them how to act. They know exactly what they need to do. These are, and we're shooting the film in a way that, it's it's kind of a technical film. It's a technically made film. It's basically, you know, a 90-minute special effects shot.
Nice. Oh,
you think
cool.
About, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very technical, and I'm going to have Matthew is absolutely going to be working with the actors to get those performances out of them. Meanwhile, I will be making sure that we gather all the elements we need to make sure that we have the visual style and the special effect punch that we need to feed the audience, to feed our fan base. You know, because in this day and age, it's like, you know, give me more and more, you know, consume more and more and more.
Right.
And, you know, I'm going to try to put everything in, but the kitchen, you know, everything in the kitchen sink in there. And so please everybody.
Well, and it sounds like Terratoons is that perfect playground to do some, you know, stuff like that. Just throw everything, you know, in there. But,
right.
You know, with, you know, I'd imagine nowadays you're probably on, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, with something like Terratoons 4, you're probably allowing, you know, the time and space so that, you know, people can really, you know, have that space to really be expressive, you know, your actors and everybody that you're working with.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can't make Terratoons 1 today.
Right.
I can't do the same thing I did back. The first Terratoons we shot in 3 days. The second Terratoons we shot in 7 days.
Wow.
And the third Terratoons we shot in, I think it was 20 days with almost 50 days of pickups.
See, now you can allow for nap time.
Yeah. So, and it was like sometimes we would literally wait an entire week and we would shoot one shot on the weekend because the shots were so extensive and so elaborate with special effects. If you see Terratoons 3, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's and it was just my partner Steven Escobar and I. We made that film, you know, with our own 2 hands, and we made it here at the house. And I mean, we turned our living room into a hospital, and we built the inside of someone's body in our garage. And yeah, you know, so
cool.
Yeah, you know, and we have everything in Terratoons 3. We have stop motion. We have force perspective miniatures in it. We have CGI, of course, practical blood, digital blood, everything. There's a little bit of everything in that film, and it's just you know, it's just a kind of a cornucopia of special effects stuff. All the stuff I wanted to do, all the stuff I tried to like test everything that I want to do out in my own films and try to craft them and perfect them, and then I bring them into other people's projects. So I've kind of already done a little bit of everything by the time I get to somebody else's set, and I know exactly what needs to be done. You know, when directors hire me to come on their set, you know, they want it to be, you know, if they have one dress or one wall that has to be splattered with blood, we want it to be done the first time. We don't get a second take. I don't get a second take. I have to hit somebody in the face with blood, and their hair's done and their makeup's done, and they're laying on a bed on a movie set that's been rented and built, and you know, and they have a costume on. I have to do it right the first time. I only get one chance to do it.
Well, and it sounds like, you know, on your projects, like something like Terratoons, what a great playground to test things out, test out new ideas, new approaches, new stuff. The one thing I was gonna, you know, see, and I know it's completely unlikely, but since Terratoons was shot like, you know, nearly 20 years ago, and you were describing how your garage was made out to be the inside of somebody's body. Please tell me that's still up and that you make it into a haunted house for Halloween. That sounds like amazing.
Yeah, no, that has been taken down. Yeah, it was. We made a portion of it to be the inside of one of the characters' body because of the devil in Terratoons 3. We bring Dr. Carnage back to life because he was killed in part 1, and the devil, it basically makes the Terratoons to steal the souls of the children, and it's kind of really dark and sick if you think about it. The devil makes these evil cartoons to lure children into hell and steal their souls, and
well, what else is the devil gonna?
I mean, you know, so you can like think of it as a horror comedy, or you can just think of it as very demented and sick. Which one is it? You know, and like when my mother first saw it, we had the premiere of the original Terratoons at Raleigh Studios here in LA, and my mother flew in from Texas to see it. And when, you know, my mother is a devout Roman Catholic, and when she was done watching it, she just said, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I just said, that's okay. You don't have to get it.
Yeah.
And,
but she's there to support you.
Yeah, as best she could, as best as she knew how.
Right.
But in part 3, the devil literally takes. Love working with you too, Jason. Jason's a very talented man. He knows exactly. Jason is the kind of director that knows exactly how to use someone like me to his advantage.
Nice.
And some people will hire me. You know, I come with a price tag.
Yeah.
But Jason is the kind of man that knows how to use that to his advantage. And I try to have a lot of conversations with the directors before I get on set to let them know, look, this is the best way to use me so you get the most bang for your buck. And Jason's the kind of director that knows how to do that. And when I worked with him on The Bleeding Dark, which is a film he recently completed, he knew exactly how to time out, to allow me to do what I need to do. So when the makeup effects were done, he could literally walk the actors or the actresses to set, so there was no downtime, and the makeups were flawlessly fresh, and put them in front of the camera, photograph them, and allow it to be done correctly without rushing through the effect. A lot of people will just wait till like they'll be in the end of the night to do the blood, and then they'll have like 30 minutes to do it, and where I will have asked for an hour to do it, and sure I can do it in 30 minutes, sure I can do it in 10 minutes. But it's not going to be the same as you letting me do it for like an hour when I needed it.
Right.
And and I've been put in that situation on huge films, on really big films. Like I'll tell the director in advance, hey, I need like an hour to do this, and he'll be like, you get 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but I do it. I do it the best of my ability. You know, I have to perform. But I really enjoyed working with Jason, and I'm looking forward to Jason posting some pictures of some of the stuff that we did up there. Because I did some stuff that I've never done before on that set as well. Some really cool stuff.
Oh, cool!
And I'm not gonna say what it is because I see them give. Yeah.
Have you ever been put in? And I'm sure you have, but have you ever been put in situations where you questions like, "Oh, can I do this? Can I not?" Did you have enough time to experiment, or was it another thing where the filmmakers were just underprepared and didn't know what the limits to your expectation or to what you need to do are?
That's a great question. Have I ever been put in a situation where there was just not enough time or whatever to do preparation to do it? And after doing this for 39 years, I just don't allow myself to get into that situation.
Okay.
And I've slowly over a period of time learned how to catch this from ever happening.
Right.
And that's like one of the, there are amazing artists out there. There's artists that are far more talented than me, right? But the one thing I have going for me is I know how to work with other directors because I am a director myself. So I know how to talk with the director and communicate with them to get what they need for the money that they're spending in a very timely manner. And I know how to communicate this in a very professional manner. So that way I'm giving them the heads up and we're working together so we can kind of do this kind of thing where we blend together and then it gets in front of the camera and it's perfect. And that's one of my biggest skills. And this isn't something that has happened. It didn't happen like that. It happened gradually over a period of time. And I still nurture and cultivate that. I still do that.
And I imagine that also translates to, the actors and then, third, the rest of the crew too.
Absolutely. I am a cog in the wheel. I'm a team player. Mm-hmm. We're all working together for one vision. And that's one of the most important things I've learned since the beginning of my career is, I am a team player. I am a part of the team. And I want to be a part of the team. I mean, I would love to be a star, but that's not my goal when I'm on set. My job on set is to make my boss look cool and feel awesome. That's my job.
Nice.
And I don't stray from that. I don't stray from that goal. From that goal.
Nice.
And that comes also from.
Yeah. Looks like Bill just posted about Alien Danger. Right. You're working on that too. Jeez.
Alien Danger. That's right. And Bill is also coming on board Terror Tunes 4. And right now, I'm literally, once this interview is over, I'm going to walk back into the studio because I'm making basically an 8-headed alien for James Balsamo's Alien Danger. And it's like one of the last big hurrahs for the year. I told myself I would take December off. I've just been so blessed and so honored to work with all the directors I've worked with this year. Including Ariel McLeese, which is a female director. I love working with female directors. You know why? Because I worked with a lot of male directors. In fact, there's a lot of male directors. But when you work with a female director, they have such a fresh, new approach to anything they're looking at. Mm-hmm. Their stories don't get to be told as much as male directors. Right. And, and so I got to give a big shout out to her. I worked with her this past year, and she said, I want to do this girl melting. She goes, but I want it to look beautiful. Because I want her to melt beautifully. And I was like, that's a challenge. It's a challenge for someone like me. Because people think all I do is blood, or I do like kooky creatures. But that's not true. I do all kinds of stuff. And I do whatever needs to be done. That's what I'll do. People approach me and say, Joe, can you do this? And I'll be like, yeah, that's what we do. We do what needs to be done. And I work closely with the directors and the producers that I'm working with to make sure they get exactly what they need. If they're not happy, then I'm not happy. Or if they're happy, then I'm happy. That's the way it goes,
Yeah. So as an artist myself, like, when you say, that she wants this figure to melt beautifully. Yeah. Now I'm wondering what that conversation was like. Yeah. It's like, do you want is it erotic? Is it very empowering? It's like, ooh, there's so many ways that you can really get really technical with that. Right. And of course, visually, the kid in me, yay, all tricks and, Lucky Charms, all the sugary goodness, I harken back to Raiders of the Lost Ark with face melting scenes. Yeah. Yeah.
No, this one was very different. It was like a Sophia. I think at one point, this is how it was described. So you want her to melt like a Sophia Loren perfume commercial.
Oh,
and she said, yes. Yeah. She said, yes. I said, okay, we can do that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Working with female directors.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different animal altogether and such a fresh approach. So if there are any female directors out there that want to work with me, I'm letting you know now that I really appreciate working with you, and I know exactly what needs to be done. I know how to communicate with female directors, and I know how to make it happen.
That sounds so so welcoming, because just working with other female artists and everything, there's always that so much more sincerity behind every step, and I was like,
very meticulously thought out. Yeah.
I find that absolutely lovely. Man, you got all kinds of comments coming in. Eileen just said that she's got the pretty boy mask.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me see. Look, I mean, we should just do a whole. We should just here. I got the pretty boy mask.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, from Blind.
From Blind. There you go. From Blind, right there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know that image. That's great.
I actually have one with the entire cast sign because I'm such a diehard fan of the film. I have to give a shout out to Jackie Kong, the first female director. This is a youngest female director in Hollywood. I think she was 23 years old when she directed this movie. Asian female director Jackie Kong. She's one of my good friends, and she inspired me to work in movies. That's her signature right there. Anyways, Jackie Kong, one of my good friends. Let's see here. What else? What was I gonna do? Wait, here's the poster for. I got. This is the creature I'm building. Wait. This is the creature I'm building for Alien Danger right there.
Sweet.
See all the
is
different
that
heads
from the actual movie poster art?
Yeah, there it is. There's a movie poster.
Oh my God, I can't. Okay, I can't wait for you to be able to post, I
know pictures of that. Yeah.
Of the actual sculpt.
Well, what else I got here? Well, you have already seen these. This is Yeah, you've already seen both of these. This is the Terratoons. This is
Terratoons.
Terratoons 1 and 2. Terratoons 3 is going to be released on DVD through our Indiegogo campaign. It's never been released on DVD and Blu-ray. Amazing Blu-ray release of the film. Lots of behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, there's some crazy. I mean, Steve and I took 8 years for us to make part 3.
Okay.
We made it over a period of 8 years, and it stars Herschel Gordon Lewis, the godfather of gore. Are you familiar with Herschel Gordon Lewis?
Yep, I am.
Okay. Well, did you know that Herschel Gordon Lewis directed the very first slasher movie ever?
I heard of that. I can't remember what that one was though.
Blood Feast, 1963.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I have seen that. Man, it's
some people say that Psycho is the first slasher movie, but it's not. If you think about it, compared to Blood Feast, Blood Feast is the formula. A deranged killer stalks innocent victims one by one, killing each one on screen in a horrific on-screen death. And then at the end of the climax of the film, the killer of the movie is killed at the hands of the hero or the heroine of the movie in an even more horrific on-screen death. That is the formula, slasher movie formula, and Herschel Gordon Lewis made that in the movie Blood Feast. It was the first color film to exploit blood in motion picture cinema. And the very first splatter movie too. Yeah,
I remember how brilliant the blood color too was.
Yes, very vibrant.
Yeah.
Before Herschel died, Stephen and I interviewed him, my partner and I, and and Herschel divulged the blood formula, that was used in the original slasher movie Blood Feast to me. So I am kind of like the keeper of the blood formula.
Good. Don't share that. Do you use that formula on other projects, or do you use it?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I use it in some projects. It still is usable today. It's serviceable in some of the films I work with and some of the things I do. And
I really like the use of that vibrant color because I also like in Blood Feast I always thought of it as like kind of thicker. And then, you go and see some of the like 1960s, 1970s, kung fu films that really spewed blood and everything. And it's also ridiculously bright too.
You're right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still very serviceable today. And, and I met Herschel back in 2001 when I was invited to create the special effects to the sequel to the very first slasher movie ever made, Blood Feast 2. That's where I met Herschel for the first time and became his close friend, and he became a part of the Terratoons universe himself. Herschel is a star of Terratoons 3, and he wrote the lyrics to the theme song for Terratoons 3. So for all those that want to be a part of the Indiegogo campaign, you will be 1 degree separation away from Herschel Gordon Lewis. He'll be involved in a franchise that he was also involved in, and also a little tidbit. Herschel loved Terratoons because. He said it was wild and unpredictable, and that's something that he really liked doing with his film. Towards the end, like I think the Gore Girls and some of those movies he did towards the end got that kind of crazy, cult, off the wall, stylized vibe going that he brought to the table. He tried to do some of that with Blood Feast 2, and I think they went with straight more comedy and cut some of the things out that he wanted to do with it when they cut the film together. I remember. As we were shooting it, he wanted to do some really weird stuff, like the stuff he did back in the 70s and but he so try to bring a little bit of that into Terratoons 4.
Yes, some of what I remember of his work was it had a delightful frenzy to it. Like there was a little bit of an anxiety that you could feel.
Yeah.
And there is that cult. There's a little bit of the camp to it. I think to some extent that was just that was the time. But it was really cool to be able to see that. And I'm so glad that you got to be able to work with.
It was such
one of your inspirations like that. That's
a life change. Yeah, it was basically a life changing event to work with him on Terratoons. I'm sorry, on Blood Feast 2, and then to have him be a part of Terratoons 3. Yeah, it was a completely a moment in my career that kind of set it in motion in a beautiful, amazing direction. And Steven Escobar, my partner, has been the producer, post-production supervisor, and executive producer, co-writer, co-director on all of the all entire franchise, as well as Xenophobia. And Steve, my partner actually has an Emmy for outstanding editing in reality television programming for The Amazing Race, and he's been nominated for many Emmys. So he basically the brains behind the entire digital post-production world of the Terratoons franchise, and it just would not be possible without him. I mean, Steven taught himself After Effects in 2001 before anybody knew how to use it, and that's how the original first Terratoons came about and was able to, actually happened. Without After Effects, it would never have happened. The first one would never have happened. And Steve taught him how to do that by himself. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Steven, kudos. Congrats, buddy.
They're saying thank you, Steven. Yeah, he's back in his editing off. He's actually editing right now. With this pandemic, we've both been working from home, and everything is the whole setup of working from home and editing movies and editing from home has become so much easier now. So he still works full time for the studios through the home office here. Yeah.
Cool.
So. Yeah.
Looks like Jason chimed in. He said, thank you, Joe. It was wonderful having you set, and I love that we clicked. And
absolutely.
We did it.
Absolutely. I know I'm going to, yes, pictures soon. I'm looking forward to posting some pictures from that set online. There's some good stuff there. Very, very brutal. And there's G. Larry Butler. Worked with G. Larry Butler on but 4 films now. I'm not sure how many. We worked on several films together already. Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like you and Larry here. You guys just how many movies do you guys put out together? I know you can only speak for yourself, but it just seems like there's like 20 different projects on your IMDb page at the same time.
Well, it's a real family here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. And we and like a real family, sometimes you don't like your brothers and sisters, and sometimes you do, and sometimes you click, and sometimes you have to forgive and move on, and sometimes you just have to whatever, and so we, it's a real family here, and we do our best to support each other and love each other. And there's Marcel. I can't tell you how talented this man is. Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel
is such a talented man, and I can't wait for everybody to see his vision. I mean, it's just going to be pure entertainment from beginning to end. That's all I can say. And I'd like to be considered a director, but I'm more of a director of special effects. I enjoy doing this. I have enough knowledge after 39 years to really help movie directors direct their special effects, their technical effects. I have enough knowledge that I could really be a real asset to someone who is trying to make a film with special effects. And I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, I'm somewhere in the middle. And I'm a real team player, and I'm really honored to have been able to be so busy over the past year with all the directors that I've worked with. And I'm sure I've forgotten somebody. I'm sure I've forgotten to thank at least one person. But yeah, though, this is people off the top of my head, I worked with Felissa Rose this past year. What an amazing talent, and the producer herself, and so many projects. And I got to give a shout out to Thomas Churchill, and I worked with Big Freaking Rat and Amityville Harvest, and it's just on and on and on and on. So many wonderful directors I worked with this past year,
it's amazing to see your body of work, and you do such beautiful, gory stuff. I love it.
Thank you.
And it's so endearing to see that you've got such a wonderful support group, fans that really endear your work. But at the same time too, as Herschel influenced you. I mean, you are influencing this new generation, like Matthew here.
I want to show everybody, look, I have a list of names. Hold on a second. God, it's so blown out.
Is that your credit sheet?
No. This is a list of names, right?
Uh-huh.
Here's another list on the other side of names. Here's the other side of the names. Here is another list of names. This is on my desk. These are people that I want to put in Terratoons 4.
Nice.
Okay, so I have like all these people that come to me, and I know that they want to be involved in the project, and I want to put everybody in it. I have this list of like, I think I have like 70, 77, 70 some odd names on the list. I'd love to be able, I can't even put 77 people in the studio at one time.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. Like literally, even with COVID, there's a limit to how many people you can have in the studio at one time. Yep. So, and then all these people in my film family here, horror film family here in LA and all over the United States and all over the world, they want to be in the film. I absolutely want to put everybody in it. It's like almost humanly impossible to do it. I'm going to try my best to figure some way out. And if anybody's watching the show and they're like, Joe, why didn't you put me in it? Why would you call me back? Whatever. I'm like, I'm thinking, you're on the list. You're on the list.
Yeah. Well, that gives you an excuse to do, Terror Tunes 5. Terror Tunes 7. You might as well have your own TV show. Go to Adult Swim. We keep referencing that.
Steven wants to make it into a television show. I think it's a perfect format for a television show.
Yeah.
But at this point, I have a couple of other bucket list projects that I want to do. So after Terror Tunes 4, we're going to move on. We have 3 other bucket list projects that we want to do. Steven and I have been wanting to do, and we're going to do those before we do another Terror Tunes. Terror Tunes is like a guilty pleasure for people that like cinema and like cult films and like special effects and like fanfare and they like all the nostalgia of B-movie cinema and B-movie actors. That's all. This is what it really is. It's like it's like a homecoming, like a family reunion for cult cinema, and it has a little bit of something for everybody. Yeah.
That's a good analogy. It kind of makes me think of Thanksgiving. If you didn't have to see your have political arguments with your biological, just sit around and just let's watch B movies. Let's have fun.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. Joe, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely,
man. I think we're gonna have to have you on. After you the holidays and you wrap up a couple extra projects and maybe we bring Steven in when he's not on the clock. That would be great. Yeah, Steven's editing. He's actually editing 2 television shows right now, and very simultaneously, like one hand on a different computer. I can't answer that question, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of sure that's exactly what's going on. He just got this crazy, weird new monitor in his office. It's just weird, wild. But yeah, no, he's a real hard worker, and I would not be where I am today without Steven. I mean, nice. We talked about my career and everything throughout the interview, but truth be told, this is a team effort here. Yeah. Steve and I have been chasing this dream together for living the dream, chasing the dream, however you want to say, for coming up on 23 years now, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Couldn't have done it without him. Yeah, that's wonderful. And remember, everybody that's watching out there, go to the Indiegogo page. It's the ticker's going on at the bottom. Get a screenshot of the link. Go support great indie filmmaking. Wonderful B-movie stuff. If you're into the late night Adult Swim fare, this is up your fucking alley. There's no excuse. Make this magic happen. Absolutely. And then Daniel, are you ever going to come out and visit us in LA? Are you coming out to LA to visit us? Who's that? You. Are you going to come out and visit us? Me. I thought you were calling for Eileen. I was waiting for her to chime in. Once COVID subsides and the vaccine comes out, most definitely. Elise and I will come out. We'd love to see all the magic that you guys do, and hopefully we can get down and dirty too. Absolutely. Anything you need, you just reach out and say hello, and if I can make it happen, I will make it happen. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you for being so generous with your time. Guys, again, go support the Terror Tunes 4 on Indiegogo. It's there in the ticker. And hey, everybody out there in the internet land, be good, be safe, be kind to each other, help each other out. And, always remember we love you. Joe, stick around for a few minutes. But with that, have a good night. And a shout out to my sponsors, Alien Donut Films, Bill, Angela. Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, there's
that's Lloyd Kaufman. That's Lloyd Kaufman from a new movie from The Barn 2, directed by Justin Seaman and shot by Zane Hirschberger. And yeah, this is in The Barn 2. Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Don Shell for bringing me on the projects. Oh, and Jeremy Brown for Friday 13th Vengeance, and all those other great people up there, Alexi and. I could go on and on and on. Gilbert Rosas, Kevin Williams, Rudy Bali, who else? And all of you, everybody, love you very much. Thank you so much for all your love and support.
Incidentally, I get to interview tomorrow Tom D'Amico from Troma Films.
Tell him I said hello. Have him give Lloyd a big hug and a kiss for me.
Will do. And to my producers. Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. Everybody, take care. Have a good night. Where's that camera?